Hiya! So last week I mentioned the Feynman technique of studying, and today I was going to elaborate a bit on that topic and also tell you everything there is to know about Richard Feynman. But then my friend Patrik ended up on the official Sweden Twitter, and what some might call an opportunity arose. Patrik is an archaeologist currently working for the Glimmingehus Castle museum, and as you can see, I just must talk about this because Patrik looks a little bit ridiculous and it kind of needs to be current, so you can still find it in the Twitter stream. And there is a lot of fascinating history going on with Glimmingehus Castle. What everyone mentions about Glimmingehus Castle is that it's the best preserved medieval stronghold in Scandinavia. It was built by Jens Holgersen Ulfstand, who served under the Danish King Hans, or Swedish King John II, both of which are the same dude, just with different names. Hashtag Kalmar Union. And whilst the castle was comfortable for its time, it has been argued that it was built more as an expression of knighthood nostalgia than anything else. And it wasn't modern enough, or progressive enough, or opulent enough to be interesting to Ulfstand's contemporaries. And definitely not future generations of Scanian nobility, which is why it was only used as a residential building for 2 or 3 generations before it was converted to a grain storage facility. Now all of this is interesting, but first of all, Glimmingehus Castle isn't technically a castle. At the time, King Hans, or John I of Denmark, or John II of Sweden, or Johan II, seriously, John? Or Johannes from the House of Oldenburg? Seriously? Sometimes I truly wonder about the monarchy. Forbade anyone except the crown from building castles, which makes sense. I mean, a castle is a stronghold that will stand against an army. The crown has an army, but so does the nobles. Would you, if you were a king, want your nobles to be able to hide from your army and possibly usurp your power? Secondly, Jens Ulfstrand really wanted a castle because he was a little bit of a terrible person and no one liked him, except the Danish king. The Danish king really liked him. At the time, Scania was a very important region of Denmark, and Ulfstand was the man who oversaw it. He taxed the population, he angered the Swede, he worked his farmers ruthlessly, and also he was sitting on the border towards Balticum. He outshone the rest of the Danish nobles. He was, in short, very good at what he did, so no one liked him, except the king. So at the time it was fairly common for nobles to build manors, yeah? And considering it was illegal for him to build a castle, he claimed to be building a manor. So what if his manor house just happened to have slightly thicker walls than just, you know, your regular manor house? So it's not technically a castle. It wouldn't have withstood a royal army with its artillery, but it would probably withstand just about anything else that anyone could throw at him. And let me reiterate here that Ulfstand had an actual reason to believe that people would throw things at his not a castle. Farmer revolts, angry Swedes, Danish nobility with deniability. Say that 3 times quickly. So his reasons for building Glimmingehus weren't so much knighthood nostalgia, so much as an actual fear that people would take up arms against him. This is also why the family moved out shortly after Ulfstand died, because with him dead there was no reason for them to hide out in a stronghold. Also, it is both difficult and expensive to live comfortably in a castle. Basically, the political climate and popular resentment against a single person drove that person to build a stronghold that would later be turned into a grain storage facility. History, it works! See you on Thursday.